And welcome to the Part Time Nerd Podcast with me, your host, Alan. And joining me is Mr. Rapid Dave. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing great. How are you?
Yep, just living the dream, man. Just
Uh,
living the dream. Here we are talking about the Christmas classic, 1990s Home Alone, written and directed by John Hughes. This one got a 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb, 66% on Rotten Tomatoes. Tell me how great this movie is.
I don't understand the low scores. I mean, well, 7.6 is better than I've seen here recently, but like I said, they should be just a little bit higher. I mean, we're talking this should be in the 80s, right? 93% of the Google users like it. So maybe the Google users know what a good movie is. I
Right?
don't know. This movie's this movie jumpstarts my Christmas holiday season. We watch it every Thanksgiving after we're done eating, and boom, we're off to the races, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, this isn't the first one, but it's right there. Number one for us is always Christmas Vacation. That's what kickstarts it for us. But this one's right there. I mean, second or third one. It just depends on where we go from Christmas Vacation. But it's so great. Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, which this came out the same year that Goodfellas did. So you have him doing Goodfellas, and then he does Home Alone. Daniel Stern, which Marv is just great. I mean, nothing wrong with that. The great John Candy, which every single line of his was improvised in this movie. They didn't write script for him. John Hughes asked him to come on. He said sure, and then you know who he based his character off of, right?
Mm-mm.
Come on, what other holiday movie is John Candy in?
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Exactly.
Is
I
that
mean,
what he did?
just think about the way that he acts, he interacts, he's talking. Oh, hey, don't mind me. Did I overhear that? Dude, it's him to a T. Um,
It's close, I guess, right?
he's right there. But this movie is so awesome. And here's the other thing. Like, I didn't know this because I was looking up some stuff on it. This was up for Golden Globe for best comedy, um, or drama or musical, drama or musical. No, comedy or musical. Sorry. Um, it was up against. Now, here's the crazy thing: the movie that won that year was Green Card, which I starred like Gerard Depardieu and Andy McDowell. But it was also up against Dick Tracy,
Uh,
Ghost, and Pretty Woman.
it wasn't
Which
going to win at that point. You know what I mean? Those movies, Ghost and Pretty Woman was like, they're you know how things work, right? The funny movies don't get any credit. They don't
no,
get the love that they need. They probably just wrote off, it's a holiday movie, this and that. It just, there's no way it was going to win. And plus, who cares about Golden Globes?
and Macaulay Culkin was up for best actor in a comedy or musical.
Well, with the movies you just mentioned, yeah, there's no way he won it. So
No, Gerard Depardieu won for
yeah.
Green Card, which I never even heard of.
Most of the
Oh,
movies that win these awards, I've never seen, never watched, never even heard of. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like it's these crazy one-off movies that are popular, and I don't know.
yeah.
I
Uh,
can't even name a place without it being offensive.
but I mean, this movie, it's so great, right? First of all, this kid's a jerk. Like, let's just get it down. If I had talked to my parent, as a matter of fact, I did talk to my mom like he did, and I got backhanded. I know I did. Because
Well, it
like
starts
I
off
didn't get
as a bratty 8-year-old, so you know that
right.
you're already going in with an annoying mouthy ass 8-year-old, so you're just like
Right out of the gates, he's doing something he's not supposed to be doing. His mom tells him stop, and he looks at her. He goes, "Why don't you get off the phone and make me?" Like,
I wouldn't have got off the phone. I would have put the phone down very slowly and then went to town. Or since those
just
back in the day, those everything had a cord, right? You could have thrown the phone.
and
You
just
could
pulled
have,
it back.
yeah, you could have thrown it at me and yanked it back like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. And you're like, get over here. And I mean, dude, my mom was pretty deadly with a phone. She could get you right in the head from about 10 feet, 20 feet, because they all had those super long cords. A lot
Right.
of a lot of range.
But I mean, it's just an awesome movie. I mean, he left home alone. His parents, leave him home. The nosy neighbor kid was over there asking a million questions, so they miscounted heads. Um, and he instantly does what any of us would do when we were little kids if we were left at home. You started eating a bunch of junk food and watching movies you weren't supposed to watch, right?
I
That's
swear, if I can get my hands on those crunch taters just one more time, those chips that he was eating, every time I watch it, I can still taste it. I'm like, they were the best chips ever made by Frito-Lay.
but it's just it's classic, and there's so many parts of this that I just laugh at, like when they finally get to France, right? And they're trying to call home, trying to call to get someone to check in on him and things like that. They're making a call from France to Chicago with a quarter. Like
Stuff didn't cost a lot back then,
it,
and
it
most of you kids nowadays don't even know what she was doing. There used to be these things called phones in airports and malls and public places. I mean, just out on the street, there'd be a phone out there. It's so you could make telephone calls on the go.
yeah, that's
Not everybody had a cell phone.
it. And the other thing that I thought was hilarious on this, Macaulay Culkin's stunt double was a 30-year-old short man.
Yeah. You could always tell when this stunt though, because he was a little, he's not built like an 8-year-old, right? He's a little bit wider, a little bit, he's
A little
got
bit
some hair
stockier.
to him. Yeah, it's a little stockier. But that's funny. They found a 30-year-old. Did you say 30 or 40?
30.
30-year-old short person. That's hilarious. I'd like to
Yeah,
get I'm gonna look that up. I gotta see this guy's face.
you can see. But yeah, I mean, it's just a classic movie. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's one of those ways you 100% suspend reality with this because, I mean, let's be honest. I have a 7-year-old right now who's almost 8. She can't pull any of this off. She's a smart kid, okay? Uh, but the ingenuity of this kid, like, it's amazing to be able to build all these traps and things like that, and to do it all in a short period of time. I can't get my kid to clean her room in a day, let alone set up traps throughout the whole house.
Well, that's the difference. You're asking her to do a chore, and she doesn't want to
But
do a chore, but she'll do this because it's like, gotta do it, right? It's a movie.
it's a I mean, just to draw up his battle plans, right? Just to draw up those battle plans that he rolled out. That's a good couple hour task right there.
It's too
Those were
much prep.
detailed.
That's too much prep
There's
time, man.
way too much. There was not enough time in the day for him to get everything done. Uh, and to be able to when he first sets up like all the where do they get all these freaking mannequins from? Okay, he's
Her
got a
mom's
house
into
full
fashion.
apparently
Yeah,
because
well, that's what she does. That's why she's up and at it. You always see the sewing machines, stuff like that.
yeah,
There's always that aspect of it.
yeah, but it's a fun movie. I enjoy it. I've probably watched it 3 times this year so far, and I'm gonna watch it more. And it's one of those where you put it on, you watch this, and then you watch Home Alone 2. It's just you have to watch them back to back. You have to watch them together, and God forbid you start one at like 10 o'clock at night because then it's going to be a late night because you're staying up for both.
I can always break them off and like just go to bed. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to bed.
No, lies. They're all lies. And the iconic, I mean, you can't really see it, but you can kind of tell when he puts the aftershave on and he screams. I mean, it's just there's so many parts of this movie and aspects of this movie that just have stood the test of time. I mean, we're looking at a movie that's what 1990 this came out, so shoot, we're looking at what's it, 30 years, 31 years ago.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? One, they flew all the way over to France. Took the whole family, 13 people, right?
Right.
Like, what kind of money does that cost? Especially back then, air travel was for the people who could really afford it. There was no Spirit Airlines slapping you in a seat for $39. Okay,
Yeah, but here's the thing though. This is where they save the money. They only book one hotel room for everybody. Like when they get over there, they're all in one room, all crammed together. Okay,
oh god, and it
They're
does.
they're saving money on that.
By the end, you learn something too. Just calm down, think rationally, and be patient.
Yeah,
Because how much money, time, effort, and crap did that lady shell out to get there at the exact same, well, I'm sorry, 5 seconds before the rest of
yeah,
the
right.
family? And, And he even says, he goes, "We took that flight the next morning."
The
The
flight you
next
couldn't wait
morning.
for. We took the flight the next day you couldn't wait for. He just had to stick that in there too. That's a little part, you know. I love Kevin's dad because he's just kind of like that. Meh, whatever, man. He's like, look, you can't do anything, you know. Let's go back to the hotel and we'll figure it out. We'll catch the next flight. She's like, no, I've got to do this. I got to. He's like, all right, catch you later.
Yeah, he's a rational thinker. You have to have one in every situation because you let the loonies get in charge of everything. This is what happens. She sold her soul to the devil himself. I don't care if I have to get out on that runway and hitchhike.
Right. and and I think it's funny, like just if you have a mom like that, really like at an airport, and she's talking to people, hey, I left my son at home. We switch flight. People would be rational, but that old lady was like holding her hostage. Like she's like, Is that watch a Rolex?" She's like, "Do you think it is?" She's like, She's like, "Nobody will tell the difference. Come on, you want the earrings? You want this? I'm going to give you this, and this." And she's like, eh. And then her husband's like, "Come on, let's go." She's like, "Well,
I like the husband. He's got a whole tons of earrings at home, whole shoebox full of them dangly ones.
yeah." And she's like, "Well, honey, he's doing." And that's when he should have been just like, "You know what? You can stay. That's cool. I'm going to go. She only needs one ticket. We're cool.
Dude, I'd be like, "You want to stay here? I'll see you at home."
I'll
I'm
see."
not. Yeah, I'm one of those people that if I got an airline ticket, and whatever, I'm not alternate. I'm not changing it. I'm going with what it says. I'm not missing the flight. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm in. I'm all in. And if it's in my flight going home, I'm going home.
I'm going.
Yeah. I picked this date specifically to go home, and I plan to be at home.
Yeah, but I mean, a great Christmas classic. If you haven't watched it, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Stop what you're doing right now. I don't care what it is, and watch this right now. Uh, but yeah, you got anything else on this one?
Nah, it's on Disney Plus. Check it out.
Check it out. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment, follow, all that fun stuff. If you have anything you want us to watch, shoot us over an email, parttimenerdpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.